This video is brought to you by Carnegie Mellon's Global Communication Center and presents research-based strategies to help your team discussions be more productive and equitable. Innovation and quality benefit from, and even require, diverse ideas and viewpoints. But this isn't automatic. Just because you have different individuals on a team doesn't mean you automatically hear everyone's perspective. You must make an effort to ensure that you hear diverse viewpoints and integrate diverse perspectives. This video presents strategies that can help your team listen and learn from diverse perspectives. Our first strategy is to pay attention to who talks. Notice whether people in your group are being overlooked, interrupted, or dismissed, and if that is the case, acknowledge them. There is substantial evidence that minoritized individuals on teams are more likely to have their ideas ignored, dismissed, or stolen. These minoritized individuals are also more likely to be interrupted. So pay attention. And if you notice that something like this is happening, speak up. But how can you speak up without being accusatory? Here are just a few strategies for acknowledging someone who has been overlooked and creating space for their voice to be heard. Hey, I think someone had a good idea a while back. Could we discuss this some more? I think this person was trying to say something and got cut off. Would you like to finish your thought? Or you can take a more general approach. Let's be sure that we hear from everyone before we make a decision. Can we go around and let everyone share their thoughts on the options? Another option, if you don't catch it in the moment or you aren't prepared to speak up during the meeting, is to check in privately with the teammate later and say, I noticed that we didn't really discuss that great idea you brought up earlier. Or, I noticed that you got interrupted or seemed frustrated. Are you okay? Is there something I can do? This is really powerful. It lets other people know that you saw it and you care. Sometimes, when a person is in a position when they are being ignored, overlooked, or continually interrupted, they start to wonder, is it me? Is there something wrong with me? Am I being too sensitive? Is this really happening? When you acknowledge, hey, I saw it happening too, it validates their perspective. It tells them that they aren't alone, and it opens up a conversation that can lead to productive steps that will allow that person to speak up again rather than just give up on the team. Thus, the first strategy is to monitor your discussions and to make sure the conversations are equitable. If they are not, very gently call attention to this and give the person who is not being heard a chance to speak. The next strategy is to pay attention to how the work is distributed. Make sure that everyone on the team has an equal opportunity to do the high-status work. This high-status work can be the more technical parts of the project or the parts that will most impress the instructor. Again, a large body of research suggests that minoritized students on teams are often assigned less challenging, less technical, and less visible work that would allow them to be noticed. Therefore, we should monitor our team's workload and, if it is unfair, speak up and make sure everyone on the team has the opportunity to do that high-status work. For instance, you could say, let's make sure we're dividing the challenging parts of this project fairly so that everybody has equal opportunity to stand out. Can we identify the exciting parts and then look to make sure everyone has equal access to these parts? And again, you can check in privately. I noticed that you got stuck with a lot of the non-technical work of the project. Would you like that to change? Then you can intervene with the group and have a discussion on how to move forward. Again, this lets the other person know that it's not them, that somebody else saw this too. Now, what if the problem is that you are worried that this person won't do a good job with that challenging work? The first step is to ask yourself why you think that. Is your impression based on some sort of concrete evidence that you observed? Or is it based on some kind of subjective feeling or intuition that might reflect unconscious bias? Unconscious biases are biases that we all have, but that we all need to take steps to overcome. If, though, you are genuinely worried about the health of your project if you assign this person more high status or more technical work, you should take a look at how your project is structured. You can plan your project with early deadlines, frequent milestones, and clear review points so that no one person could possibly bring the project down. If you have good planning with plenty of review points, then you don't need to panic at the thought of one broken link in the project bringing everything down. The GCC course module on planning teams can teach you the nuts and bolts of effective task schedules, team charters, and other tools. This short course is open to the public on Canvas and is a must for anyone working on a longer project. Our third strategy has to do with biases and subjective judgments that arise when you do not have a clear method for making decisions. People make better, less biased decisions when they have clear criteria and apply those criteria fairly when deciding things. For instance, if you are building a device, you should start by deciding the importance of different criteria, such as speed, weight, stability, strength, and cost. You can rank these criteria from high to low priority. Then, go through the different designs you're considering and methodically ask how well each design meets each criteria. Following a systematic method like this helps you from being biased by how loudly or passionately someone argues for a particular approach. Some examples of things you can say are, before we decide which direction to take, let's list out all of the criteria we need to meet to make this a successful project and make sure that our proposed ideas all meet these criteria. Let's make a list of all the criteria our design needs to meet and rank how important each one is. Then, we should look at prototypes and see which one scores the highest. You should also ensure that remote team members are included. You can do this by moving team meetings online, even for teams when some people are physically co-located. You can also wait to discuss project-related tasks until everyone is present. Finally, you can use a team charter to document strategies that the team will use to remove unconscious bias. You can learn more about team charters in the publicly available GCC course module on planning teams. Your charter might include information on how team members should respond to potential biases when they see them. Or it could document your strategies for including remote team members. So, to summarize, pay attention to who talks. If someone is overlooked, interrupted, or dismissed, acknowledge them. Pay attention to who is given what task. Make sure everyone has an opportunity to do high-status work. Decide upon the criteria for a good decision. Then apply that criteria when you are making a decision. Make an effort to include remote team members. Document these strategies in your team charter. We hope you found this video useful. Remember that the GCC is here to help you with all of your communication needs. To book a free appointment with one of our consultants, visit our website. While you're there, you can click Explore Our Collection to see more tutorials. Thanks for watching!